India will fight back. India will no more hear lectures from Western nations as it used to do in the 20th century. India won't remain silent when accused or alleged for crimes like killing individuals of other nations. No, India will not stay quiet. Namaste guys, welcome to Indian Geopolitics. After the great debacle in the G20 summit in India, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau threw a bombshell on the India-Canada relationship. Before looking into this matter, let's see the question of the day. Which terrorist group was responsible for the 1985 Air India bombing or Kanishka bombing? The options are Khalistan Commando Force, Khalistan Zindabad Force, Babbar Khalsa International or International Sikh Youth Federation. You will find the answer at end of this video. Now let us dwell into this topic. Basically, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau addressed his parliament and has accused India of killing Canadian citizens in Canada. I mean, this is a serious allegation by any head of the state against other country. The person about whom Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was talking was Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was involved in gang crimes in Canada. He was also involved in killing of many innocent Sikhs in Punjab and across the world who used to raise voice against the so-called Khalistan movement. If this wasn't enough, Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister Melania Joly has alleged, and pay attention on my words, has alleged India of being involved in this killing. Listen to her.
The allegations that a representative of a foreign government may have been involved in the killing of a Canadian citizen here in Canada on Canadian soil is not only troubling, but it is completely unacceptable. If proven true, this would be a grave violation of our sovereignty and of the most basic rule of how countries deal with these.
There is no speck of doubt that Hardeep Singh Nijjar was involved in instigating Khalistan movement in India in the state of Punjab. However, there has been no proof given by the Canadian authority over India being involved in his killing in Canada. In fact, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has himself stated that there could be a possibility of India being involved, but he is ready to risk the India-Canada relationship going deep south just based on this allegation. If we further look into the details of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, he is the same person who had entered Canada illegally in 1997 and couldn't get Canadian citizenship, thus was forced to marry a Canadian woman and finally could get a citizenship. Hardeep Nijjar has a Interpol notice against him for instigating crime like murder in India. He was also responsible for desecration of many religious sites like Hindu temples in Canada and USA with help of his gang. Once again, the Canadian Foreign Minister herself has accused or rather alleged that India may be involved. But you know what? The actions of Canadian government has shocked the international community, let alone Indian government. Based on mere speculation, the Canadian government expelled the Indian diplomat by accusing him of being involved in the murder of this so-called Canadian citizen. If that wasn't enough, Canada has issued an advisory for the tourists, especially Canadians who wish to travel to India, by claiming more than 40% of area of India to be unsafe for traveling. I mean, this is ridiculous. Further, to gain sympathy in the Western world, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau approached his so-called Five Eyes Alliance leaders, that is America, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and has tried his best to put pressure on Indian government to concede to his demand. But guess what? Even India and Indian government has paid back in kind. India has responded in kind by first expelling the senior most diplomat of Canada from India. He was asked to report to the Ministry of External Affairs in the Southern Bloc, and within 4 minutes of discussion, he was ordered to leave India within 5 days. India has issued advisory for all the Indians living in Canada or who wish to visit Canada in near future on the ground of them getting targeted by extremist elements based in Canada. Further, India has rebuffed every single accusation by Canada in its weekly External Affairs Minister briefing. Have a look.
Sudhi, you had a query about Canada sharing any information? No, let me clarify. No specific information has been shared by Canada on this case, either then or before.
I say this very carefully and with full responsibility that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has blood in his hand because his inaction has been responsible for killing of innocent Indian citizens in India and across the world. If that wasn't enough, Indian government has for first time labeled Canada as a safe haven for terrorists, which usually was used as a terminology by the first world country to demean third world nations.
Issues and reputational damage. If there's any country that needs to look at this, I think it is Canada and its growing reputation as a place, as a safe haven for terrorists, for extremists, and for organized crime. And I think that's the country that needs to worry about its international reputation.
But the basic question that arises is why Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is damaging the India-Canada relationship. Well, guess what? It's all about politics. Now, if we look at Canadian Parliament, if a political party of Canada wants to form a government, it needs 170 seats out of 338 total seats available in the Canadian Parliament called House of Commons. However, Justin Trudeau from Liberal Party has acquired 158 seats, that is, he was short of the majority mark. And here, another political party, that is New Democratic Party, led by Jagmeet Singh, comes into the picture. To form a majority government, Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party formed a coalition with New Democratic Party of Jagmeet Singh, who is an open Khalistan supporter, to form a government in Canadian Parliament. So basically, Jagmeet Singh is the king maker in the Canadian Parliament, and if he withdraws support from Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party, Justin Trudeau will lose majority and will have to resign as the Prime Minister. So basically, to stay in power, Justin Trudeau is wagging his tail behind Jagmeet Singh. There are some other reasons, and one of them is the approval rating of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. US-based Morning Consult is an agency which regularly conducts polls to find out the approval rating of leaders in democracies across the world. If we look at the recent report, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has the highest approval rating of 77%. But guess what? Where does Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stands? So as per this report, Justin Trudeau's approval rating has dropped to its lowest of 34%. Yes, 34%, and hence he is fearful of losing his majority in the parliament if any member brings a no confidence motion in the Canadian Parliament. The second reason for diverting the attention from its domestic issues is the increase in the domestic gang wars across Canada, specifically in provinces like British Columbia, where the police had to come out with lists of gang members who have been responsible for killing of innocent Canadian citizens across Canada. The next is the economical reason of the housing market crisis, where the price of housing sector has reached its peak and the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government is unable to control, thereby creating a havoc in the financial sector of Canada. This, when clubbed with the rising inflation rate in Canada, it has made the life of average Canadian difficult. So in order to divert the attention from the domestic crisis, the best option that is available with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is to blame other country on a topic which has nothing to do with the crisis existing in Canada. So Justin Trudeau has picked India.
Let me also point out that from our side, very specific evidence about criminal activities by individuals based on Canadian soil has been shared with the Canadian authorities on a regular basis, but not been acted upon.
The worst part is Canada will undergo a national election in year 2025, and if Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's political party has to win, he will have to support pro-Khalistani political leader Jagmeet Singh in order to retain power in the Canadian Parliament. Petty diversion politics by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau may help him domestically but will spoil or damage India-Canada relationship for a while. Now coming on to the question of 1985 Air India bombing, the correct answer is Babbar Khalsa International. Yes, Babbar Khalsa International was responsible for 1985 Air India bombing, also called as Kanishka bombing. Babbar Khalsa is a terrorist group responsible for killing of more than 300 innocent Canado-Indian citizens in year 1985. Stay tuned to know more. Like and subscribe your own channel Indian Geopolitics. Jai Hind.